Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Avatar Rewatch. I am Nick Gibson from the Phoenix Press, and joining me is my best friend, Jared Lucy. Say hi, buddy.
What's up? I am Jared from Comics League.
So, today in our Avatar Rewatch, we are checking out episode 2 of the show. And Jared, what were your overall thoughts?
I liked it. It was really funny. One of my favorite scenes is Aang charging into battle, literally riding a penguin. I was like, oh, gee. And then he had that epic moment where he started water bending and he came out like a water tornado and like annihilated everyone. That was so badass.
Also, are you starting to notice that while on the surface it seems very cheerful, there's a lot of darker elements hiding?
Yes.
Yes. So while the first episode was very cartoony, you realize this is a lot darker show than you may have thought.
Well, a lot of cartoons start off with the kiddie element. Even Attack on Titan briefly did that, but then inevitably they quickly move toward that sort of adult-ish tone. It's not like adult as in it's like people getting their heads lopped off, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, and then so this episode it kind of deals with war, kind of like the horrors of war and like the effects on things, and like while you had Sokka, well, what he did was played for comedic effect. Like when they banished Aang from the village, you kind of realize, well, that was kind of a crappy thing to do. They had every right to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like
because
from their perspective,
he's responsible for protecting the whole village.
Mm-hmm.
That's his thing, even though all he has to work with are a bunch of kids, which was so funny.
So probably my favorite scene. Okay, actually no, we'll get to that in a second. But like we had Zuko kind of invade the village and whatnot, handling Sokka easy. But what do you think of the scene where it's like Aang's fighting him and like the fires get like inches for the kids and he stops and he offers himself?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go ahead.
And then like you had Zuko where like you made him a deal where you spare the kids and he like just nodded. Like I think that really kind of shows a different side of Zuko where it's like, you know, I'm not here to kill people.
At least he's honorable, because immediately I was like, nope, dude, do not take that deal, because do not offer that deal, because me seeing a bunch of DC stuff, whenever you make a deal with the villain, inevitably they go, no, I meant I would spare them in this moment, but I'm just gonna go firebomb the entire village.
Yeah, so it's like he's captured. He's on his mission. Like he has to kill people to get the Avatar. He'll do it, but if he doesn't have to, he won't. Like it's kind of a very utilitarian kind of thing, which you gotta respect a little bit. And then like
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think of Zuko so far?
I like him. He's definitely. I see a lot of stuff. Like he seems kind of conflicted to me a little bit. And
also,
like
did
that.
you notice in his room, like the reference that I mentioned in the last episode?
In terms of what?
So the mask in the background of Zuko's room.
Mm-hmm.
You know who that is, right?
Who?
Aku
From what?
from Samurai Jack.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that cartoon in like a decade.
Well, the reason why that's important is because the person who voices Aku is Mako, the same person who voices Iroh.
Oh, okay.
So it's a nice little kind of thing right there.
Yeah, I love that.
And so my favorite scene of this episode is Katara is kind of moping, and then Sokka walks by, and Katara is doing her thing. He's like, Sokka's like, "Are you done? Or are we gonna go help Aang now?" Like, I love that. It's kind of like it's one of those kind of like heel turns kind of things. Like,
Yeah.
you think she's gonna lecture him, but he's like, "No, I'm one step ahead of you. We're gonna do this." And then they even double down on it, where Grand comes in. You think she's gonna scold him, and she's like, "Here, you'll need this." Like,
And my favorite scene is when they're on the ship rescuing Aang, and Katara tries this water bending technique and ends up freezing Sokka in place. He's like, oh my god, he's hitting with the boomerang. I'm just doing a boomerang.
And you like probably one of my favorite lines is like, Sokka, come on! Like after she had just like frozen him, she admonishes him for taking his time.
And I love how when the bison starts flying, Sokka's like, he's flying. Oh, okay.
And like, yeah, even better, like literally there's kind of like a split-second shot where he's like, it's okay. And then he immediately goes back to smiling.
Yeah, it's so good. Once again,
Yeah.
I loved so Aang is like falling into the ocean. All of a sudden you see his arrow light up, his eyes light up, and then that's like, oh, it's go time, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And he not impresses the Fire Nation, in other words.
So we saw a little bit of that state in the first episode, and you do realize they're laying plot threads, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like this thing that you're seeing, the state of the Avatar, I'm being cryptic, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be more revealed upon later and whatnot, but yeah, like, so obviously this is kind of like a 2-part pilot kind of situation, like at the end of this episode, they're basically got the status quo and they're going forward. So they're heading to the North Pole. They're literally heading from one tip to the other.
Mm-hmm. You could say that, and maybe they'll be able to find out who's naughty or nice.
So, what theories do you have so far? Like, I kind of like I want to know like what theories you have about things. Like, what are your because I want you to craft theories and we'll see if you're correct. I mean, I'll know instantly, but like,
of course.
But just tell me like what theories you have.
There's gonna be a scene where Aang and Zuko team up and have a badass fight scene.
Maybe not this season, but maybe
eventually. But because the potential is it's low hanging fruit, Nick. There's no reason not to. Because
I mean, I am the king of low hanging fruits.
Yeah, thank you. And then because I know for like that Zuko turns good at some point in the season, or at least turns like he essentially becomes kind of like Red Hood in that sense.
Okay, fair enough.
Is what I think. So that's why I think there's like there's gonna be a badass action scene where like Zuko and the person he had hunted and now considers an ally fight alongside each other.
You never know. You might have to watch a season or two. Who knows?
And then my other theory is that at some point it'll be hinted at that Katara can use other elements.
Only the Avatar.
Yeah.
I'm gonna squash that one down. Just kind of So a regular bender can only bend one element. What's special about the Avatar is they can literally bend all 4.
And air, yeah, exactly. But the reason
air is one of the elements. It's one of the 4 elements.
The reason why I brought that up is because doesn't she become the Avatar in her show?
That's Korra. That's literally takes place. So Legend of Korra takes place 70 years after the show. Korra is because like the Avatar cycle is the Avatar is born in one of the 4 nations, and it's a different nation each cycle. So it's like air, water, earth, fire, and then it kind of cycles back. Mm-hmm. So basically the Avatar before Aang was born in the Fire Nation, Avatar Roku. The thing that sits atop our TVs.
Mm-hmm. Do they reference the previous Avatar in the show?
Yes, that happens. Okay. The past lives are a big part of it. And then so after air is water, and so Korra was born among the water tribe, and so she's the Avatar and whatnot. Yeah.
Oh, so you mentioned past lives. Is this like a reincarnation like thing?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't want to go into too much because I want you to kind of like find out as we go along. But yeah. Favorite character so far?
Oh, definitely still Aang. Because it's just him coming into battle on a penguin, and then the penguin just gets up and just walks away. That's so good.
Yeah, I mean, it probably didn't do that willingly. So
Yeah, I was like, no. Considering in the first episode he goes penguin, he just runs right after it.
So what did you think of like Aang, like Avatar, like airbending and whatnot? Like how do you think of like how they did that?
It's really cool. Of course, in the cartoon, the way that they show air moving is like dust gusts and stuff. So I mean, I liked it. I think it's a unique ability to control air. I
Mhm.
also liked I also liked how Korra, because she can control water, she can technically control ice. So I like how that translates to it's not just like the legit element. It's everything that derives from the element.
Yeah, so in this kind of like another thing that you'll find out later. So in Avatar, there's this thing called sub bending. Like ice bending is kind of like a sub bending of it.
Okay.
Um, like with and then like with the firebenders, they can also do lightning. You know,
Hmm.
lightning bending. With Earth, there's kind of like sand bending, and then there's like mud bending.
Hmm.
Um, and like with water tribe people, they can even do like swamp bending, which allows them to like manipulate the water and plants.
Hmm.
Yeah, you'll see some, and there's other subtypes, but I don't want to go into that right now. You know, there's some
Hmm.
cool plot twists that go on with that.
It's really cool. And when you think about it, since the human body is made up mostly of water, couldn't you like pull a Mera from Justice League and like pull all the water out of someone? I think she does something like that based upon your reaction. I'm excited.
Season 3. That's all I'm gonna
Awesome.
say.
Awesome. Then we definitely need to get to at least season 3 because I want to react to that one.
Okay. Yeah. So um yeah, so the world's gonna open up a lot. Also, I will say some of the episodes coming up are gonna get really freaking dark. So just kind of letting you know with
Oh
that.
boy.
Yeah. This is
I'm a fan.
so what
Trust me, I'm a fan of the Snyderverse. I'm used to dark stories.
so with this being kind of your introduction to the world, what do you feel about it so far?
I like it. I definitely feel like I see why everyone that I'm close to has told me you have to watch Avatar. You will like it because it's like it's got very much of the superhero themes that you expect from like comic books and stuff. Because when you think about it, Aang is basically Captain America, frozen in ice and comes back and saves everyone.
He's an angsicle.
That's great. I wonder if anyone does anyone ever call him an Angsicle or something?
I'm not in the show, but I've heard some fans like kind of like I think they even called I think the capsicle line. I think that was actually used in a movie at some point.
Okay, okay, but yeah, I definitely like it, and I'm glad we're doing this series because now I have to watch it in order to be able to do these episodes.
I have a feeling by the time we're done with season 1, you will be a legit fan.
Yeah, I get the feeling if it's more of this, I'm down.
Also, there are comics that take place after the show that you're probably going to want to check out.
Which we'll probably cover on the channel.
uh, so yeah, any predictions on how things are going to go? You know, like any kind of anything
I think there's
final
gonna be
thoughts?
complication. I don't think they're gonna be able to fly directly to the North Pole. I think they're gonna be detoured, maybe shot down. By the way, I love where Aang's like, okay, so we're gonna get there eventually, but first we have to go ride on these monkeys. We have to go do this. We have to go do this. It's so much fun because he's a kid. So of course he think of fun first. So I love that.
By the way, Aang is like 11, 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
You can definitely tell that.
technically he's 111, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, in terms of the age he roughly translates to. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean this episode was pretty straightforward. We're still kind of getting into it. Yeah, I feel like as this show goes on, there'll be more to kind of talk about, more to kind of discuss. But like these first 2 episodes were rather thin, like ice.
Yeah, you're on thin ice, Nick. All right, everyone, chill.
You do realize this is my stream, right?
I know, I know.
This is you come into my house.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to put an air dam on this one, and then I'm gonna use my bending abilities to end this. Final thoughts.
I can't wait for episode 3.
All right, that'll be next week. And so thank you, Jared, for coming on. And
Amazing.
I'm looking, I'm hoping to like. I'm sorry if these episodes are a bit short, but like as things go on, hopefully we'll be going longer. I don't really feel like padding them out, dragging them out.
And
So
they're
it is
not
what
that
it is.
complicated, really. These episodes. We're talking about 22-minute episodes, pretty much.
Yeah, like as obviously as things go on, like kind of a few episodes coming up. Like I have a feeling there's a certain episode that we'll be really digging into.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so this has been Nick from the Phoenix Press and Jared from Comics League. And remember, I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it.